Is this the most ignored road sign on the UK's road network? Do drivers even know what it means? This is the trucker's eye. It's the M62 on a lovely warm summer's day in July. Today we are in Yorkshire and heading into roadworks. If you have seen my videos before, you will notice that I always seem to be driving through roadworks of some sort. That's because national highways seem to have more roads dug up than not. Our current location is Goole, and we are heading in the direction of Hull. Shortly we will cross the River Ouse. Major restrictions have been in place on the Ouse Bridge since April 2022. It was found that the joints on the bridge had failed. The work has taken just over 2 years so far, and finally it all looks set to be completed over the next few weeks or so. In the meantime, there remains a whole raft of restrictions on the bridge. These include a 30 mph speed restriction, one closed lane in each direction, with the changing of lanes forbidden. And then there's this: a 6-foot, 6-inch width restriction in lane 2. So what vehicles are exempt from travelling in lane 2? Well, for a start, trucks and buses are certainly far too wide to be in that lane. As we approach the start of the width limit restriction, you can see a transit van ahead of us already in lane 2, and we are also being overtaken by a second van. Most van drivers are completely unaware that they are actually contravening this width restriction. This van is a Ford Transit T350. According to the official Ford website, the width of this van from mirror tip to mirror tip is 2,474 mm. That works out at just over 8 feet. This van should not be in the outside lane at this point as it's too wide. But what about some cars? Could they be too wide for this lane too? You'd actually be amazed at how many cars are actually contradicting these restrictions on various motorways. I doubt there'd be many car drivers who would even have this thought crossing their mind. Coming up in my mirror, just off your screen, is a car that is also over the prescribed width limit. As the driver approaches, I can tell you that this car is a Volvo XC90. A Volvo XC90 is just over 7 feet wide from mirror tip to mirror tip. I would imagine that police cars are exempt. Maybe the police are even following that van for being too wide. But what is for sure is that a standard Volvo XC90 is too wide for a 6-foot 6-inch width limit. And they are not the only cars to be wider than 6 foot 6 inches. Remember, your vehicle's width is from the tips of your mirrors, as they are the widest part of your vehicle. However, some commercial vehicles will carry wide loads, which may exceed the mirror width. Some of the cars that are also over the permitted width limit include an Audi Q7, a Porsche Cayenne, a Tesla Model X, and a Land Rover Defender 110. In all seriousness though, I think we'd all be very pedantic if we started worrying about which cars should be in that outside lane. But some of the vans are a little bit wider, and I think it's fair to question why they are there. So this brings me to what could be a better solution. In the UK, we use the imperial system for the most part. This signage at this particular set of roadworks is also in metric too. In Germany, some of the roadwork layouts leave a lot to be desired. One thing they do better than here in the UK is they will have a picture of a car on the outside lane of the signage. That way nobody is under any illusion as to what vehicle is allowed in that lane. It's also a similar setup on one road in North Wales, the A55. Just near to Conway you will see this signage. Surely nobody can fail to understand what this means. It's easy to understand at just a glance. Would you know the exact width or height of your own car? I doubt many drivers would. A lot of drivers don't seem to know much about driving at all. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more content in the future.